This section of the video will show you how to replace the hydraulic pumps on the 5110 electric scraper. Detach the rubber latch and lift the hood. Remove the crossbar support. Place shop towels or paper towels underneath to catch any oil drips. Disconnect the electrical connectors inside the machine. Loosen the nuts against the pump housing. Be sure to note the orientation of the hydraulic fittings, then loosen the hydraulic hoses and remove them from the pump. Remove the two bolts that hold the pump in place. Remove the pump. Retrieve and inspect the spider. Remove the fittings from the pump. Inspect the fitting O-rings. If they are damaged, replace the fittings. Remove the Lovejoy coupler from the pump using an Allen wrench. Discard the pump in accordance with local laws and regulations. Attach the Lovejoy coupler to the new pump. Be sure to leave a slight gap between the pump and the Lovejoy coupler, approximately 1/16 of an inch. Attach the fittings to the new pump. Put the spider in the Lovejoy coupler, then place the pump back into the bracket. Mount the pump using the two bolts. Be sure that the Lovejoy coupler is in alignment. Also use the flat washers and lock washers when mounting the pump. Attach the hoses and tighten them. Be sure that the angles are similar to when you took the pump off. Tighten the nuts against the pump housing. The 5110 has two pumps. Repeat this procedure for the second pump. Pick up the paper towels and wipe up any spills. Reattach the electrical cables. Reinstall the support rod. Close the lid and secure the latch. Start the machine, run it and operate the hydraulics. Use a flashlight to check for leaks. In this section of the video, we'll show you how to replace the pump on National's 2900, 5200 QL, 5700, and 7700 ride-on scrapers. Loosen and remove the screws holding the front of the hood. Lift the hood open while disconnecting the electrical plug. Disconnect the electrical plug inside the machine. Place paper towels around the pump. Loosen the side nuts on the pump. Loosen and remove the hoses from the pump. Loosen and remove the bolts holding the pump in place. Lift the pump out. Be careful not to lose the gasket. Remove the fittings from the pump. Inspect the fittings and the O-rings for damage. Replace damaged fittings or O-rings. Dispose of the pump in accordance with local laws and regulations. Attach the fittings to the new pump. Inspect the gasket and replace if necessary. Inspect the spline of the pump. Inspect the spline on the machine. Set the gasket in place and then install the pump. Attach the pump using the 2 bolts. Tighten these bolts. Position the fittings to align with the hoses. Attach the hoses to the fittings. Tighten the hoses. Tighten the side nuts and the pump so the fittings are tight. Make sure all the hoses are tight. Remove the paper towels and wipe up any fluid. Plug in the blue connector. Close the hood and attach the electrical connector. Make sure the hood is properly closed, then attach the bolts that hold the hood in place. Start the machine and run it to verify there are no leaks. This section of the video will show you how to replace the hydraulic pump on National's propane ride-on scrapers. We will show you how to replace the pump on the 8000, although the replacement of the pump is similar on the 5625. Turn off the gas on the propane tank and remove the hose from the tank. Unlatch the tank and remove the tank from the machine. Remove the thumb screws that hold the hood in place. Lift the hood while routing the propane hose through the hole. Note the orientation of the hoses coming into the pump. You'll want the hoses to be at similar angles when you replace the pump. Place paper towels under the pump to catch any hydraulic fluid that leaks. Loosen the 4 nuts that are against the pump housing. Remove the hose from the fittings that are attached to the pump. You can minimize oil drips by orienting the hoses so that they are in an upright position. Remove the 2 bolts that hold the pump in place. Lift the pump out. Remove the fittings from the pump. Remove the lug joint coupler using an Allen wrench. Discard the pump in accordance with local laws and regulations. On the new pump, remove the plastic protective cups from the fitting holes. Attach the fittings to the new pump. Apply an adhesive to the end of the pump to hold the gasket in place. Prior to this step, inspect the gasket to make sure it is not damaged. Replace it if it is damaged. Attach the Lovejoy coupler to the new pump. Leave a slight gap between the pump and the Lovejoy coupler, approximately 1/16 of an inch. Replace the spider on the end of the Lovejoy coupler. Gently insert the pump. Orient the pump in order to get the Lovejoy coupler to align. Tighten the 2 bolts that hold the pump in place. Make sure you also use the 2 flat washers and 2 lock washers. Be careful to put the bolt through the gasket so that it holds the gasket in place. Orient the fittings as they were with the old pump, and then attach the hoses to the pump. Tighten the hoses. Tighten the nuts against the pump housing. Remove the paper towels and wipe up any spills. Use a flashlight to make sure there are no spills. Close the hood while routing the propane hose through the hood. Reattach the hood thumb screws. Install the propane tank. Attach the hose to the propane tank and turn on the tank. Start the machine and check for leaks. If you have any questions, contact your sales representative or technical service.